Hey guys, today I'm filming my first update for my Project Use It Up 2017 / Project 50 pan. If you guys did not see my intro, I will have that linked up here. It has been 2 months since my intro, so first I will be updating you guys on the products in my Project Use It Up, and then I will be showing you the items I have completed for my Project 50 pan over the past 2 months. So this is a video series I've been doing for the past 3 years, and my inspiration for the Project Use It Up was from Meg's Makeup 8. She was doing a year-long project pan, and a lot of people started doing it, and they were mostly incorporating hair, skin, and body products. But for me, I like to have only makeup, but they are products I think are gonna take me a lot longer to use up than I could finish up in maybe a seasonal challenge or a small project. So these are long-term makeup goals for me. And then the Project 50 pan portion was inspired by my friend Ami from AM Beauty Life, and I am just trying to finish up 50 makeup items in the year. I would like it to be 50 additional items, so that means not including the products in my Project Use It Up. I have been able to do that for the past 2 years, so hopefully I can do that again this year. So within the past 2 months, I was able to complete 2 items in my Project Use It Up. The first is the NYX Stay Matte But Not Flat Powder Foundation in the shade number 2 Nude. You guys know there wasn't that much of this. I mentioned that this is one of my holy grail powders. It gives great coverage and it helps keep me matte. And the shade number 2 Nude is a little bit dark for my skin, but I love having it in case my foundation combination gets too light. This is something I definitely will repurchase. And I also finished up the e.l.f. Lip Exfoliator. This is the original one, which I believe is like a brown sugar scent. I have already repurchased, but I have it in the mint scent now. And I'm really glad I used this up because I'd had it for a while. And the original version versus the new scented flavored versions is completely different as far as texture goes. Now these have like thicker pieces in here, and this is kind of rough. So if you have really sensitive lips, this might be too harsh for you, but the newer version is a little bit more sandy, so it does feel a lot better, but I don't know if it exfoliates as well. So I wish there was something in the middle, but I do love the e.l.f. lip exfoliators in general because they are in this stick format, which is so much more convenient than having to stick your finger in a pot. So I do highly recommend these, and as I said, I did repurchase, but in the mint scent. So now I'm going to show you the progress on all of the other items from my Project Use It Up. First, you know I included 2 deluxe size primers. These are 2 glowy primers, which is not ideal for my skin type, but I did receive these in different Sephora play boxes and I want to use them. So the first one I have is the Becca Backlight Priming Filter. This is in my current Project 10 pan roulette. I'll have that linked up here. Quite a few of these products are in that project, which is helping me use them up. And this is where I had started out, and this is where I am now. So this one will definitely be finished off by my next update, which is exciting. And then I also have the CoverFx Illuminating Primer. I have not opened this one yet. I'm waiting to start using this after I finish up the Becca primer. For foundation, I had the Kat Von D Lock It Tattoo Foundation in the shade Light 45. This is where I started out, and this is where I am now. I probably have a week's worth of product left in here, so this will absolutely be finished off by my next update. I'm falling back in love with this foundation. I mentioned in my February favorites, which I will have linked up here, that I am currently combining this with the Hard Candy Glamouflage Mix In Pigment Makeup Drops, so it helps lighten the shade and thin out the texture a bit, so it applies so much easier, and I'm able to apply it with a sponge, get a more flawless look, but still have full coverage. So I'm kind of falling in love with this again, and I want to repurchase it again, but regardless, I'm really enjoying using it right now, and it will definitely be finished by my next update. Next, I have the Lorac Porefection Concealer in the shade number 2 Light. This is a very fair yellow concealer. I have been using this every single day underneath of my eyes to correct my darkness. I don't have a ton of darkness under my eyes, so yellow works fine for me. I don't need to use a peach. I've also been meaning to use this on my cheeks to neutralize my redness, and I've probably done that once or twice because I keep forgetting, and then I'll remember, but after I've already applied my foundation. I would like to use this after primer but before foundation, so I'm going to try to remember that, but I am using it every single day. I'm not seeing any progress, so I feel like this is going to last me until the end of the year, which makes me kind of sad, but I am getting use out of it, and I don't think I used it hardly at all last year. So this definitely isn't a favorite product. I'm not going to repurchase it, but I am finding a way to make it work for me. Next, for powders, I had a ton. First is the Nye Cameo Powder. Here's where I was at the intro, and this is where I am now. I think that I should definitely be able to have this finished off by the next update, since it will be 2 months. I have been using this every single day to set my under eyes. This powder is great if you have oily under eyes because it does give a matte finish. It's a really nice fair color with a pink undertone. Only problem with that is if I apply too much, it can feel a little bit thick and I can see it on my skin. So I just have to be careful to apply the right amount, but I am enjoying using that. Hopefully it'll be done by my next update. And then my other under eye setting powders were the Wet n Wild Fergie Mattifying Take on the Day powders. I have been using these as well. Whenever I've been traveling, I'm taking this instead of the Nye because it is more travel friendly. So I had 2 of these in my intro, and I have used up a ton of one of these. These don't come with a lot of products, so it's pretty easy to use a ton of it. So this is how much I have left. I'm probably going to go ahead and repress it. Once I repress a powder, it goes a lot faster. So this one might be able to be finished off by my next update as well, but maybe not. It depends how hard I have to work to finish up the Nye Cameo. But regardless, I've made good progress, and these will definitely all be finished by the end of the year. Next for powder, I have the RCMA No Color Powder. Here's where I was at my intro. Here is where I am now. That's pretty good progress. And I mentioned in my intro video that I don't like this, but I didn't really tell you why. So I go into full detail in my most recent Hit It or Quit It Thoughts on Hauls. I'll have that linked up here, but to sum it up, everybody was raving about this powder to use to bake under the eyes, and I was using it that way, baking under my eyes with a wet sponge. And you know when you bake, you apply a lot of powder, dust off the excess. I was not able to dust off the excess. It was so thick under my eye and like white, and when I tried brushing it away, it started patching off my concealer and it ruined my makeup. I tried it multiple times. The same thing happened multiple times. So I stopped using it for that. I am currently using this to set my forehead every day, and on the days where I'm filming, I am using this to set my entire face. So that's how I'm using it up. This might take me till the end of the year as well, but I am really happy with that progress for just 2 months. So we'll see. I'm trekking through it, but I definitely don't like it. And my last face products were the Skindinavia Oil Control Makeup Priming Spray and Makeup Setting Spray. I have made fantastic progress on these. This priming spray I think might be able to be finished off by my next update. I've been using this every single day. The setting spray I've made fantastic progress on as well, but I haven't been using this every day, and that's because I've been forgetting. So I originally wanted to use this after I did my eyeshadow, but before eyeliner and mascara, but then I've been forgetting that, and I don't want to do it after mascara and have it mess up my mascara. So now I'm just doing this after all of my face products. So this one I think might take me until 2 updates from now, but I think this one can be finished off by my next update, which is exciting. I don't find they do much for me either, but I'm just happy to use them up. Face products are really easy for me to use on a daily basis, and those are the things I definitely have the most progress on. Moving on to eyes. For eyebrows, I had one product. This is the Milani Stay Put Brow Color in the shade number 2 Natural Taupe. I used this in the month of January, but I haven't used it since then. In my current Project 10 Pan Roulette, I am using a different brow pomade, and I've been using that every single day. So whenever that one is finished off, I will go back to this one, and I think I should be able to hit my goal by the end of the year, which is to hit sizable pan. I definitely think that is doable still. Next, I had one cream eyeshadow. This is the Maybelline Color Tattoo in Barely Beige, which was a limited edition shade. I told you guys in my intro I wanted to hit pan. As you can see, there is pan on this, but that is because I mixed up the product to make it creamy again, and I just smushed it along the side. So now my goal is going to be to get about halfway across the pan, which should be easy because the product on this side is thinner. And I have been using this a lot. I'm wearing this certain makeup look every single time that I go to my practicum site, which is 2 days a week. So I am getting some nice use out of it that way. I'm using this as a base with my Wet n Wild Walking on Eggshells trio. This is my base for my lid color. So I definitely think I can hit that goal by the end of spring. Next, I have one ColourPop eyeshadow I just wanted to hit pan on. This is Amaze, which is a beautiful rose gold. Amaze was an eyeshadow I purchased during my very first ColourPop order a couple years back when all they had was eyeshadows. So this has started to dry out and it still performs nicely, but it is more dry. The newer shades are a lot more wet, so it is really easy to hit pan because you can push the product around. For this one, there's no pushing the product around at all because it is drier, and I haven't used it at all yet, but I definitely think I can still hit pan by the end of the year. I might just have to wear it on my lid like 10 to 15 times and just focus in the center. So we'll see. I hope that I can, but regardless, it is one of my favorite ColourPop shadows. My other eyeshadow in this project is the Milani Bella Eyes eyeshadow in Bella Cappuccino. This is a fantastic neutral cool transition shade I am using along with that Maybelline Color Tattoo and the Wet n Wild Walking on Eggshells trio, so this should be finished off by the end of spring. I'm doing a nice job. All the product on this side is gone. I have a little bit here, a little bit there, and then I do have it built up a decent amount over on this side. So I am using this as my transition color every single time I wear that look. So again, this should be finished off by the end of spring, which will be so exciting to finish off an eyeshadow. I finished a bunch of Wet n Wild Brulee, but other than that, I haven't really finished any. So this will be really exciting for me. Moving on to lip products, I had a couple lip prep items. The first is the NYX Wonder Pencil in the shade Light. I have sharpened this one time. I'm not gonna mark this. My goal is just to have it finished off by the end of the year. This is a product I don't care enough about to market, to be honest. So yeah, this is where I am. I am at the very end of the letter E, right before the letter D. And I've used this a handful of times to clean up around my lips. The problem with this is that it is almost a little bit too light, and I think if I do repurchase this, I might need to get medium, because when I'm lining around my lips, it almost makes the unevenness of my lips stand out more because the shade is a little bit light. But I think I should be able to have that one finished off. I'm not too worried about that. And then I have my ColourPop Lippie Primer. This is a total fail. I haven't used it a single time. I am meaning to use it every time I use a liquid lipstick, but I'm wearing a liquid lipstick today and I totally forgot about it. So if I haven't used this at all by my next update, I'm gonna remove it from the project, and you know, who knows? I want to try it a couple times to see if it even does anything. If not, I might go ahead and toss it because it has broken off from the base, so it is kind of annoying to use anyway. So total fail. This is the only item I haven't used even once. Moving on to colored lip products. Get ready for a long spiel. So the 4 lip products I had in this project were my Revlon Just Bitten Kissable Balm Stains. I have the shades Crush, Darling, Cherish, and Honey. I was hoping to finish off these 2 by the end of the year, and the one that I have been using throughout the past couple months is Honey, and I really have made a ton of progress on this. The first line was my intro, and this line is where I'm at now, so hardly anything left. I was trying to truck through and finish this up, and then my lips had that terrible reaction that I got from the Buxom Gloss and Sandy I tried finishing last year. And I have had these for years and years and years. The texture has not changed, the scent hasn't changed, but my lips had that terrible reaction where they got dry and flaky and cracky, and that reaction stays on my lips for 2 weeks, and it is incredibly uncomfortable, and it makes my lips and my makeup look disgusting, so I couldn't push through and finish this. Out of the 4, I think Honey may have been the one I got the last, so these other ones are older. Cherish is the one I got first, so because this one made my lips have that reaction, I'm going to go ahead and toss all of these. And this is very sad to me that I have to throw these away instead of use them up. And these are incredibly, incredibly old, so I should have thrown them out anyway. And yes, it's sad I have to throw something away and I didn't get to use it up, but I feel like I did get my money's worth because these are so inexpensive, and these have been some of my favorite lip products for years. And I do not plan on repurchasing any of these, even though I love the formula and the shades, because I want to give love to other products in my collection. The purple shade Darling has been discontinued, but the other 3 are still available. I just saw these at Target yesterday. So if you're wanting them, I do highly recommend them. They do leave a nice stain, and they have a really beautiful glossy finish. They feel really creamy. I like these formulas, but unfortunately I will have to toss them because they have expired. So when I realized I was going to be removing those, I tried to figure out what replacement products I wanted to add in. And I decided on the NYX Butter Glosses in the shade Merengue and Maple Blondie because these are the next oldest lip products in my collection. So I had been using the shade Maple Blondie for 4 days in a row, reapplying multiple times throughout the day. And guess what? My lips had that reaction again. And it isn't a bacteria. It isn't me infecting new products. It's because these are also very, very old. And then I opened up Maple Blondie and smelled it, and it does still smell sweet, but a little bit off. And it smells different than Merengue. And because I bought these on the same day, I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of both of them because I don't want to use this one and have that reaction again, because as I said, it does take 2 weeks for it to go away. And this is really, really upsetting to me. Now, if I had to get rid of all of my glosses and I could only keep 3 of them, my 3 must-haves are Buxom Sandy and NYX Merengue and NYX Maple Blondie. I have 10 NYX Butter Glosses and I would get rid of all of them if I could keep these. So I'm not going to repurchase them right now, but I definitely will repurchase these in the future. Oh, it is sad, but I do feel content because I did get a lot of use out of these and I am going to repurchase these. So I did choose 2 lip products to replace those, and these are easier items, and these are really, really new items, like a couple months, a couple weeks new. And this is kind of just to boost my spirits. These should be easier to finish off, and yeah, I just got kind of down about all those other lip products, so these definitely will be achievable to finish off. So first I have the Sephora Rouge Brilliant Shine lipstick in the shade number 14. This is a really pretty light sheer pink. There's not much product in here at all, and I have worn this a couple times, but this formula is really, really solid and thick. It's like a solid gel kind of a lipstick. I don't know how to describe it, but I do have to rub it back and forth on my lips a couple times to warm it up to get some product on my lips. So I have used it a couple times. The tip hasn't worn down, but it is like getting thinner. This should definitely be able to be gone by the end of spring if I use this every single day that I go to school and to my practicum site, which is definitely doable. I am a little nervous because of the texture of this lipstick being so thick and not creamy like my other lip products, but like there's not much. I should be able to finish that one off. And the other lip product is something I just showed in my most recent haul. This is one of the Pixi Lip Lift Max, which are their plumping glosses in the shade Sheer Rose. This is a mini size of this. This is a beautiful gloss. This is a perfect My Lips But Better shade for me. And it is a really nice light creamy texture, not sticky at all. So whenever I finish this off, I am going to use this as my everyday lip color for class and for my practicum site. I definitely think I should have this one finished off by the end of the year. I haven't finished a gloss beside Buxom Sandy, so this might take me a while, and this is also brand new, but I definitely think both of these lip products are doable to finish off, especially because they are everyday shades and easy-ish formulas. So yeah, I know that isn't really hard and definitely achievable. I might add some more products into this project later on, but for now, this is what I'm going to do for my lips. I know that was really long, but I just had to give you all the details about my lip product struggles, and now I'm going to show you my Project 50 pan empties. So not including the 2 items for my Project Use It Up, I did finish off 11 items over the past 2 months, which I think is pretty good. First, I finished off a travel size of the Smashbox Photo Finish Pore Minimizing Primer. One of these tubes usually lasts me a year. I recommend buying the travel sizes because you actually get more product for your money, and I felt like it was drying out towards the end. So if I had the big bottle, I can only imagine how much of that would end up drying out. So for this to last a year is really good. Of course, it's probably lasting me a year because I'm not using it all over my face. I just use this in my large pores on the sides of my nose, on my nose, and in my forehead wrinkles. I currently have a deluxe sample size of the Makeup Forever Pore Primer and one of the Smashbox Pore Primer that I got from Sephora Play. So I'm going to be using those 2 probably for a couple months until I finish them up. I probably will repurchase this. This is a great one. It does have a thicker consistency, so if you have oily skin, I think you would like this, but if you have more dry skin, maybe you'd prefer the Porefection from Benefit because it is a bit thinner of a texture. Next, I finished up the Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer in the shade Fair Neutral, which is the lightest shade. It is really fair, and it does have a nice yellowish neutral undertone. I love the applicator. It is a paddle applicator, so I feel like I'm really able to lay on a lot of product. So the applicator is awesome. I even took out the stopper to get every last bit out of this because it is a high-end concealer. I think this concealer gave amazing coverage. It was a great shade for me to be able to conceal and highlight. Being this fair, it's hard to find a concealer light enough to actually highlight, but I found that when I was blending this out with my sponge, if I blended too much, it would start to patch off, and I thought it was because of the sponge, but I'm currently using the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer and I don't have that problem. So even though I did really enjoy this, because it was kind of hard to work with and patched off a bit, I'm not going to repurchase this. Next, I finished the Wet n Wild Fergie Mattifying Take on the Day powder. This one was not included in my intro because it was already almost finished off. As I've said before, these have a really shallow pan. They're easy to finish. I use this as an under eye setting powder. This is a great dupe of the NARS Translucent Crystal Light Reflecting Setting Powder Pressed. Because of the formula is like a silica powder, you only need a tiny amount to set your under eyes. Don't recommend setting this for your entire face because it does have a glow and a white cast to it. And I used to love this. It isn't Holy Grail anymore, so I'm not going to repurchase it. And once I finish all of my under eye powders, I'm going to try something new. And then I finished the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless Powder in the shade 100 Translucent, which is not translucent. It's very fair with a yellow undertone. This is an amazing powder. This and the NYX are tied for first place for my favorite powders because they do give great coverage. They help keep me matte. I usually pick up the Maybelline over the NYX because the NYX costs $10 and the Maybelline cost around $6 if you buy it from Walmart. So absolutely will repurchase that. It is Holy Grail to me. I finished off 2 liquid liners, 1 drugstore and 1 high-end. The drugstore liner I finished is the Maybelline Master Precise Liquid Liner. This is a felt tip pen. I love the shape and size of the felt tip. It is really, really long and it tapers to a very, very skinny point. The only problem with this is because it is a felt tip, I felt like that I wasn't able to get as much product into the tip and it dried out a lot faster. And towards the end, I felt like I was able to line my eyes, but there wasn't enough product to do the wing, so I had to reach for this other liner. And because of that, I would not repurchase it, but gosh, I love that applicator so much. But felt tip liner pens, I'm not going to repurchase anymore because they just dry out way too fast. And then I had a little mini of the Kat Von D Tattoo Liner in Trooper. This is a brush tip applicator. This is a really nice, precise tip that is great to line and do the wing. I absolutely loved this. This is incredible. I totally think that this is worth money and I would repurchase it, but I think that the Physicians Formula Eye Booster Liquid Liner works just as well as this. And what I loved about this is that even though I used a ton, the tip never frayed, the bristles always stayed together. So I think this is amazing. If I could get this as a 100-point perk, I would totally pick it up. It lasted me a while. So this is a fantastic, fantastic liner. I used up 3 little mini high-end mascaras and I hated all of these. First, I have the Clinique Lash Power Feathering Mascara. This is a natural bristle brush, and this will give you incredibly, incredibly natural lashes. So if all you want is for your lashes to be a little bit blacker, okay, this will be great for you. And this brush style worked okay for me because I have thin lashes, but if you have thick lashes like my sister does, I can't imagine this working for you because it wouldn't be able to get through your lashes to like grab onto them. It would just be like pushing into them. So no, unless you want natural lashes, I don't recommend this. And if you do want natural lashes, I don't know why you would pay $15, $16 for a high-end mascara, so absolutely not. Then I finished the MAC False Lash Extreme Black Mascara. I have not liked a single MAC mascara that I've tried, but I've never tried the Go Black Lash, the tiny brush people use for the bottom lashes. MAC does not have that for a free sample, unfortunately, but the shape of this is like a cone. It is very standard. The bristles are not long enough to actually grab onto your lashes or do anything. This was absolute garbage. It made my lashes black, but no length, no volume, absolutely terrible. And then I have the Makeup Forever Smoky Extravagant Mascara. I feel like at one time, many years ago, this was a really popular mascara. I don't get why. The shape of this is like a freaking tree, and the bristles are too far apart that I feel like they don't do much. And I have very small eyes, and this takes up my entire eye. I get mascara all over my lid, and this is just too much of a pain to use. No, I hate it. I used all 3 of these mascaras together to try to get some sort of effect, and that worked okay, but I could not wait until these were done because these were all terrible. Please save your money and buy some drugstore mascaras. these suck. And lastly, I finished 2 of my EOS Smooth Stick in Sweet Mint. I finished 2 because I believe I had 1 in my purse and 1 around the house. I like to have the sticks in my purse and the spheres around the house, but I had run out of that. The EOS lip balms are a holy grail to me. I love the Sweet Mint scent so much. The texture is perfect, not too thin, not too thick. I will continue to repurchase these. So guys, that was my very long Project Use It Up / Project 50 Pan update number 1. If you guys are doing a year-long project, I would love to know how that's going for you. And thank you all so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye guys.